Chapter 16. Third Declension Adjectives. Chapter 16 covers the following: the formation of third declension adjectives, the agreement between adjectives and nouns of the first, second, or third declension, and at the end of the lesson we'll review the vocabulary which you should memorize in this chapter. There are two important rules to remember here. Rule 1. Third declension adjectives are I-stem. That means their ablative singulars will end I, their genitive plurals will end IUM, and neuter nominative and accusative plurals will end IA. Rule 2. Third declension adjectives can be 1, 2, or 3 termination. Third declension adjectives. And here's another chapter full of good news. There's all but nothing new to learn here. The basic principle of this lesson is very simple. Just like some Latin nouns, some Latin adjectives are third declension. That is, they have third declension endings. ISI, EME, and so on. But, unlike third declension nouns, third declension adjectives are all I-stem. They have a genitive plural ending IUM, a neuter nominative and accusative plural ending IA, and an ablative singular ending in all genders, I. Here's an example of a third declension adjective. Brevis breve, meaning short. Its I-stem forms have been highlighted. You should recognize all these endings and have no problem memorizing them. The only real complication in formation with third declension adjectives centers on their nominative singular forms. Isn't it always the nominative singular? Some third declension adjectives have two nominative singular forms. For instance, fortis, forte. Fortis is the masculine and feminine form, forte is the neuter. This is called a two-termination adjective. Other third declension adjectives, especially those which have R at the end of their base, have three nominative singular forms, such as acere, acris, acre. These are called three-termination adjectives. Yet others have only one nominative singular form, such as potens, potentis, where potens is the masculine, feminine, and neuter form, potentis is the genitive singular. It's necessary to provide this form in order to show that the base is potent, P-O-T-E-N-T. Even with this complication, finding the stem of third declension adjectives is easy. For any adjectives which are two or three termination, all you do is drop the is from the nominative singular feminine form, and you have the base. Take, for example, the two-termination adjective fortis, forte. Fortis is the nominative singular feminine form. Drop the is, and you can see that the base is fort, F-O-R-T. For a three-termination adjective, do the same. For example, acere, acris, acre. The nominative singular feminine form is acris. Drop the is, and you can see that the base is acre, A-C-R. For one-termination adjectives, as we just noted, the genitive singular is required. So, for instance, the base of potens is potent, which you get when you drop the is ending from the genitive singular form. The major difficulty this chapter entails is the integration of third declension adjectives into the larger scheme of nouns and adjectives we've studied so far. Third declension adjectives always use third declension endings, never first, second. And when they are matched with first or second declension nouns, the endings will not look alike, but they will in fact agree. Therefore, you need to practice matching third declension adjectives with first, second declension nouns, or nouns of any declension. Let's do an exercise where you get to practice this. We'll take the adjective dulcis, its third declension, and it means sweet, and match it with a variety of nouns from different declensions, always following this procedure. First, we'll determine the declension of the noun. Second, its number, gender, and case. Third, what is the correct third declension ending for that same number, gender, and case. Then add that ending onto the base dulc to create the proper form of dulcis that would agree with that particular noun. We'll start simple. Puella. What declension is it? First, of course. And what is its case number and gender? That's right. Nominative singular feminine. So, look on the chart. What's the nominative singular feminine ending in third declension? It's is. So the proper form of dulcis that agrees with puella is dulcis. Dulcis puella, or puella dulcis, in either case. Sweet girl. Next word, corpus. What declension and gender is it? Be careful, not all U.S. forms are second declension masculine nominative singular. In case you missed it, that was a hint. It's third declension neuter, which means what case and number is it? It's nominative singular, and because it's neuter, it's also accusative singular. So what is the nominative or accusative singular ending in third declension? Look on the chart. Hello, it's right there. Yes, it's E. So what would be the proper form of dulcis? That's right, dulce. Corpus dulce, sweet body. Next word, regum. Declension. Third, case number and gender. Genitive plural masculine. So, what's the genitive plural masculine third declension ending? For adjectives, hint, hint, what are they? They are I-stem. Good! It's I-U-M. What then would be the proper form of dulcis so that it agrees with regum? That's right, dulcium. Regum dulcium, of the sweet kings. Next word, filio. What declension is filio? Second. And what case number and gender is it? Ablative or dative, singular, masculine. What's the dative, singular, masculine ending in third declension? I. So what's the proper form of dulcis? Dulci. Filio dulci. For or from the sweet son. Next word, donis. What declension is it? Second. What case number and gender is it? Dative or ablative plural, neuter. So what is the dative or ablative plural ending in third declension? Ibis. So what is the proper form of dulcis that would agree with donis? Dulcibus. Dulcibus donis. With or for sweet gifts. Next word. Vergili. What declension? Second. Case number gender? Genitive singular masculine. What's the genitive singular masculine ending in third declension? Is. But wait a second. This can also be another case number and gender. It can be vocative singular masculine. In which case, what would the ending be then? What's the vocative singular masculine ending in third declension? Oh, it's the same as the nominative and genitive, is. So what's the proper form of dulcis to attach to vergili, whether it's genitive or vocative? That's right, dulcis. Dulcis vergili, of sweet Virgil, or oh, sweet Virgil. Next word, amicum. What declension is it? Second. And what case number and gender? Accusative singular masculine. What's the accusative singular masculine ending in third declension? em. So what is the proper form of dulcis in order that it agree with amicum? Dulcem. Amicum dulcem. Sweet friend. And one last word. Keyways. What declension is it? Third. What case number and gender is it? Nominative or accusative, plural, masculine or feminine? What would be the proper third declension ending to put on this adjective then? Es. So what form of dulcis would be used with keyways? Too easy. Dulces. Keyways dulces. Sweet citizens. Matching third declension adjectives to nouns of any declension is a vital skill for anyone who wants to read and understand Latin. I and Mr. Wheelock and many Roman authors will give you plenty of opportunity to practice doing this. Thus, to the end of this presentation, I've attached some additional exercises of the sort we just did, in hopes that you'll master this all-important skill as quickly as possible. Vocabulary. The first word is aitas aitatis, feminine, meaning life or period of life, or age, as in a period of time. It's a third declension, feminine noun. The base is aitat, which you derive from dropping the is from the genitive singular. And remember the pattern. Any word that goes tas tatis will be feminine in gender. This word is often used as an ablative of time, meaning in an age, in that age, in a particular period of time. The next word is memoria memoriae, feminine, meaning memory or recollection. It's a first declension feminine noun. This word is often used as an ablative of means, rendering the sense by or from memory. The next word is beatus, beata, beatum, meaning happy, fortunate, or blessed. It's a first-second declension adjective. And the next word is brevis, breve, meaning short, small, or brief. It's a third declension adjective, which means it is by nature I stem. Also, it's two termination, meaning brevis represents both the masculine and feminine nominative singular, and breve the neuter. So, what will be the ablative singular? Good for you. Brevi. I is the ending for third declension adjectives in the ablative singular across all three genders. The next word is celer, celeris, celere. It means swift, quick, or rapid. It's a third declension adjective, and therefore I stem. And like brevis, it's two termination. Please note that the base does not contract. It is C-E-L-E-R. That's why we have the word accelerate. The next word is difficilus difficile, meaning hard, difficult, or troublesome. It's another third declension, two termination, I stem adjective. Difficilus is the negative of another third declension adjective, facilus, which you would be wise to memorize. It's a compound of the prefix dis, meaning not, added onto facilus, which means easy, thus not easy. Both come from the same root that gives Latin the verb facio, meaning make or do. Here it appears in its vowel-gradated form thick. So what facilus actually means is doable, and difficilus not doable. The next word is dulcis dulce, meaning sweet, pleasant, or agreeable. It's yet another two-termination third declension I stem adjective. It can mean sweet in several different senses, such as taste, appearance, or behavior. The next word is fortis forte, meaning strong or brave. And just like dulcis, difficilus, and brevis, its third declension, I stem, two termination. The next word is longus, longa, longum, meaning long. It's a first-second declension adjective. And the next word is omnis omne, meaning all or every. It's a third declension, two termination, yada 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 adjective. Believe me, I'm as tired of saying it as you are of hearing it. Let's move on. Like much and many, English uses two adjectives for one concept. All is used in the plural, for instance, all the students when they're seen as a group, and every is used in the singular, for example, every student when the students are seen as individuals. The next word is uo or aduo, uare, ui, utum, meaning help, aid, assist, or please. It's a first conjugation verb. Please note it's perfect. It ought to be uawi, but what dignified language can have a verb like uawi? Therefore, the base contracts to u, long u, which makes it look a lot like the present base, which is u, short u. But there are actually no forms between the present and the perfect that overlap, so that long mark in the perfect is not mandatory. Yay! How then would you translate uamus? That's right, it's the present. We help. So what about uimus? How would you translate that? That's right, it's the perfect. We have helped. We did help. The odd prefix serves only to intensify the sense of help. It doesn't add any special, separate meaning. And finally, there are some derivatives from this verb worth noting. Adjuvant or adjutant, both meaning assisting or, in its substantive sense, an assistant. The next word is femina, feminae, feminine, meaning woman. It's a first declension feminine noun. Literally, it means the one who gives suckle to a baby, that is, breastfeeds it. Compare fetus, where the same base fe shows up as the thing suckled. The mina following the fe base is a fascinating piece of historical linguistics. It's one of the last remnants in Latin of a very old and widely attested Indo-European ending, mena, which meant simply ing. Thus, femina meant originally the suckling one, in the feminine gender, obviously. The next word is mater matris, feminine, meaning mother. It's a third declension feminine noun. Is it I stem? It's not monosyllabic. It's not neuter ending E-A-L or A-R, but it is parasyllabic. But wait, it doesn't end I-S or E-S in its nominative singular, so no, it's not monosyllabic I stem. So what's its genitive plural? Oh, discipule bone. You're right. No I, matrum. And the last word in this vocabulary list is quam, meaning how. It's an adverb and can be used in questions such as, how did you do that? Or in exclamations such as, how I love Latin. Okay, fine. Do the rules that were cited at the beginning of this chapter now make sense to you? If not, please review this presentation. If so, please proceed to the next slide. For the next class exercise, please print out a copy of the sentences for Chapter 16. You'll find them on page 77 of Wheelock. That's the end of the formal presentation for Chapter 16. Here are the additional exercises that were promised earlier, played to the accompaniment of selections from Carl Orff's Carmina Burana, a modern musical masterpiece with a Latin text.